Hello, welcome. Yeah! It's Pitch Dingman time. So while everyone takes their seats, maybe if you're in the end of the row, maybe move in so it makes it a little easier for people to take their seats. I am Ilana Fine. I'm very proud to be the Executive Director of the Smith School's Dingman Center for Entrepreneurship. So the Pitch Dingman Competition is a very special day for all of us here at the Dingman Center because it is such a great celebration, not just of the entrepreneurs here who will be pitching, but for the entrepreneurial spirit here at University of Maryland. So before we get into the pitches, which is I know why you are all here, I have a little business to take care of, and that is to say some thank yous. Because as you can imagine, a lot goes into putting an event like this together. So first I would like to thank the small but mighty Dingman Center team for everything they've done to pull the competition together, to coach our fantastic finalists, and get all of you here in the room. So thank you to the team. Round of applause. I would also like to thank Dean Alex Trantis, the Dean of the Smith School of Business, for all his support of everything we do. We can give a round of applause too. And to our board of advisors, our entrepreneurs in residence, and all of the fabulous sponsors and generous donors of the Dingman Center, thank you all for everything you do for us and our students, and thank you for being here. So next, I would like to introduce to you Bob Hisaoka. Bob is the chairman of the Pitch Dingman Competition, and over the past year has made a significant impact in the Dingman Center through his generous gift to more broadly support the Pitch Dingman Competition and support the launch of our Hisaoka speaker series, which we have already held 2 events this year. So I'd like to call to the stage Bob Hisaoka and thank him for all of his support.
Thank you, Lauren. Good evening. It's my honor and pleasure to chair the Pitch Dingman Competition. It's exciting to see all these new companies being created and the growth of the audience. I'd like to make a few brief remarks regarding leadership skills, and I'd say I'll be done by about 9 o'clock. But I'd like to share some of my experiences and observations that have helped me throughout my career. The first one I'd like to talk about is know what you don't know. I think we all know people that have said at one time or another, I didn't know that, and something bad happens. So really, it's very important to make sure that you seek guidance and get counseling in areas that you're unfamiliar with. The old saying is, nothing's a problem until it's a problem, and that holds true with things that you don't know. Secondly, focus on results. Focus on results and not effort. One of the big issues is a lot of people get hung up on how hard they work. I stayed up all night. I work 7 days a week. I don't take any time off. I should be very successful. Well, unfortunately, as we've come to find out, success is only based on results. And the measurement really is not how hard you work, but do you work hard, doing the right things, getting the right results, and therefore your time is efficient. I used to compete in the sport of judo, and one of the principles of judo is maximum efficiency, minimum effort. And so I try to apply that to my business life as well. Effective leadership requires good communication. Everyone in the company from top to bottom should be on the same page. And as a reminder for me, I use the acronym TEAM, T-E-A-M, which stands for Together Everyone Achieves More. And again, with good leadership and good communication, that requires listening and understanding as well. A lot of leadership gets wrapped up in a lot of activities, and it's kind of what I call being busy, and nothing really gets accomplished. And again, using an acronym, I like to prioritize my work and responsibilities with a simple acronym, WIN, WIN, which stands for What's Important Now. Leaders lead by example. They stay consistent. There's no high highs. There's no low lows. If problems come up, they're handled. You don't complain about it. You don't make excuses. You find a solution and make sure it doesn't happen again. That's good leadership, in my opinion. Know your people. Know how they respond. Know what situations to put them in to be productive. Make sure that you don't impose your standards for yourself on your workers. If everyone could do what you could do, then they'd be the boss. Build relationships and earn respect through credibility and trust. Simply said, do what you say you're going to do. I have a short story from the car business, which sort of illustrates that fact for me. And years ago, I was running one of the Honda dealerships that was in the top few in the United States. And we would have a monthly contest. We were doing big numbers and big production. So we'd have a Rolex contest every month. And our top salesman, who would hit 30 units or more and have a CSI score, customer satisfaction score, of 95%, would qualify to win a Rolex watch. We had a top performer, top producer for us, hit and win the volume number, but missed the CSI score by 1/10 of a point. So he hit 94.9. And he came to me and said, I want the Rolex. And I had to tell him, unfortunately, you're not getting the Rolex. And there was a risk of him leaving, which he threatened to do. But I had to tell him, unfortunately, I'd like you to stay, but I can't give you the Rolex. You didn't meet the standards that we set in order to hit and earn the Rolex. Conversely, if it was 95.1, we wouldn't have taken it away, saying you only won by 1/10 of a point. He ended up staying, and for us, the standards were in cement because everyone knew in the dealership if the top salesman wasn't going to get preferential treatment or be able to negotiate the standards, no one else was. And while there was a risk of loss, there was no greater risk than the whole company. One person is definitely not worth more, in my opinion, than the rest of the company. And that would have created no structure and no teamwork if we were to start negotiating on our standards. Last point I want to make is help others get where they want to get, and you'll get what you want. Help them be successful, and you'll be successful. To coin a phrase by the great Winston Churchill, we make a living by what we get, but a life by what we give. And with that, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. It's an honor to be here tonight. It's a great crowd. Let's have a great competition, and good luck to all the finalists. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, so now I just want to give everyone a little bit of a background to how we got to where we are today for this competition. So the mission of this competition is threefold. One, we want to provide seed funding to the strongest entrepreneurs at University of Maryland. We also want to give a startup and all the startups involved in the Pitch Dingman competition a platform to grow their startup, to learn from mentors and other entrepreneurs in our community, and also to experience the pitch and Q&A process. As any of the competitors will tell you after this, Shark Tank makes it look pretty easy. And it's pretty tough to get up here and have something that you feel so passionately about and explain it to a group of strangers, and also to answer and field questions from a variety of judges. So even just the experience alone is part of the importance of this competition. But it's not easy to get here. So all of the finalists today submitted an application. We had well over 50 applications from across the university. We had a quarterfinal round of judging where we have judges who are alumni of the University of Maryland and alumni entrepreneurs who have been involved in the Dingman Center. And then we had 10 startups who pitched at our semifinals in November. How many of you were at the semifinals? Just I'm curious. Okay, so we've got some repeat attendees. Of the 10 startups, for those of you who were there, we then selected 5 companies to move on and be our finalists today. But we didn't make it easy for them. They had to work pretty hard since November. We had a whole day-long boot camp where they had to meet with their mentors, pitch to the very tough Dingman Center team and other entrepreneurs, and get their pitches and get their companies ready for tonight. And so are you guys ready? Yeah. I know that I can speak for all the teams to say that they could not do this without the coaches. We have 5 really, really involved and engaged coaches for our teams. I know most of them were able to make it tonight. Jen Sin, who could not make it tonight, Paul Capriolo, Bob London, Adam Van Wagner, and Polly Vale. Each one of these mentors made a significant impact in getting these teams and the entrepreneurs where they are today, so thank you. The prizes. We've got money here. This is not just about the pride of winning, but there's also important prize money that will help propel these entrepreneurs to the next stage of their business. The grand prize is $15,000. That's been sponsored by David and Robin Quattrone and the Pitch Dingman Grand Prize. $7,500 second prize, $3,500 third place, and $1,000 audience choice. So you all have a job to do tonight, too. After the pitches complete, the judges will deliberate. You all can talk about who you pick as your winners, and then we'll come back and we will announce the winners. Each of the finalists will be given 6 minutes, not a second more, not a second less unless they choose not to use the time, and 4 minutes for Q&A. I'd like to now introduce our esteemed judges panel. You all just met Bob Hisaoka, David Quattrone. You want to stand up and say hello? Dick Patterson. Michelle Moore. Rob McGovern. Bobby Turnage. And Connie Weaver. Many of you probably are wondering, well, what is the job of the judges? What are these companies being judged on? One, the company needs to be addressing an important problem or a need in the market. They need to be very specific, and I know that my students in my Hatch class, many of them who are there, have heard me say this over and over and over again. They have to clearly identify their target customer or market. They have to explain why them. Why is their business going to win over the competition? This is a competition through the business school. You have to have a clear revenue model. You have to explain to us, how are you going to make money in this business? You also, as the entrepreneur, have to give a vision for us. Where do you see this company 6 months from now, a year from now, or 5 years from now? And lastly, and also very important, what are you going to do with $15,000? Why will you be able to take this $15,000 and how will you be able to help it? How will it propel your company forward? All this in 6 minutes. And with that, I'd like to introduce our first finalist, Brianna Queen from BQ Box.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Awesome. Thank you. Oh, people. Righty. Oops. Hello, everybody. My name is Brianna Queen, and I'm the owner of BQ Box. BQ Box originally started as a subscription box service dedicated to the exposure of small Black-owned beauty brands, stressing the importance of inclusion and diversification in the makeup world. After selling the boxes for a while, I decided I wanted to sell my own products that work for all shades of skin. And I'm here to tell you what it is. Just to let you know, it's called F-boy repellent, but I'm going to give you an explanation of what that actually means. So what's an F-boy? An F-boy is a trendy term to depict a male millennial that leads girls on. Typically is narcissistic and obnoxious. I'm sure you know one or two, I know like 10. So that was my inspiration for the product. And what is a setting spray? A setting spray is a cosmetic product designed to preserve applied makeup for long periods of time. For example, my makeup artist did my makeup for an hour today, so she doused my face in setting spray so that one, ensures my makeup doesn't melt off while I'm up here, and two, it shields your face so that environmental factors don't alter the integrity of your makeup look. My flagship golden ticket product is called F-boy repellent, and that has generated $140,000 in 15 months. By marrying the useful properties of a setting spray and the trendy characteristics of a makeup highlighter, I was able to create a 2-in-1 power product, illuminating setting spray. And they come in a variety of shades that work for all shades of skin. My #1 seller is BBHMM, which is inspired by Rihanna, and that is on the table for the judges to see right now. As viewed on my models, you can see that the applied makeup gives the models a beautiful natural glow, and it accentuates high points of the face. Expanding on the F-boy repellent trademark, I also introduced a glitter eyeshadow palette, lip gloss, and highlights. Though, due to personal bandwidth issues, I pulled back on production, though you can see it looks great on all shades of skin as well. Talking about my social buzz, I knew that these products would resonate deeply with my demographic, and I was not wrong. BQ Box has about 48,000 social media followers across all social platforms, and I've also been mentioned by the Huffington Post, Allure, and Revelist. BQ Box continues to target male and females ages 18 to 30. These people are makeup users and enthusiasts. They're looking for quality, affordability. They want to be on trend with what's in the makeup market and what's on trend on YouTube and Instagram and various beauty posts across all social platforms. They make up the thousands of customers I had the pleasure to send products to over the past year. Leveraging my social presence and buzz, I strictly sell online. And again, I've done $140,000 in 15 months by hand. 5,500 orders completed by hand, and orders to send, and I've sent orders to over 20 countries. I also like to note that I have done this with no additional marketing initiatives, so this was strictly by word of mouth referrals. With the ever-growing $445 billion global cosmetic industry, and the fact that beauty buyers are influenced by a brand's social media's presence, it is imperative to have a good social presence for your brand on social media platforms. In 2017 alone, 88 billion YouTube content creator views were strictly about makeup, and I think that's important to note. With the expected 4% growth in the makeup market, I believe that BQ Box is advantageously positioned for growth. Talking about my business model, 56% of my sales are from the setting spray, while 33% of my sales are from the palette, at a 76 and 60% gross margin respectively. At scale, I believe that these margins will continue to improve. My financial projections. I expect my total revenue to double within the next year, and I will do this by additional marketing efforts. I plan to send my products to various makeup influencers. I also plan to run Amazon ads and Facebook and social media ads. And I've also looked into Amazon Marketplace as a fulfillment center for me to prepare me for scaling. And lastly, the use of funds. Again, I want to stress the importance of marketing. I actually ran an ad last week, I believe, with a social media influencer. She has about 1.1 million followers, and it was about $70 for a post, and that returned $3,000 to me in one weekend. So as you can imagine, just by getting my brand out there and spreading, just making sure everybody can see what I have to offer, I believe that marketing will return a great investment. And along with marketing, I plan on focusing on packaging upgrades and formula upgrades that will also prepare me for scaling. And that is all. Thank you. Yes.
So, great presentation. Thank you
you.
so much, Connie Weaver. And I was just curious, as you grow, because you're experiencing some good growth, and
Yes.
as you put more into marketing, what kind of position are you in terms of your logistics, your packaging, your manufacturing in particular? You know, if you were to say double or triple your revenues.
Right, so that's where the use of funds comes in hand, because right now I am the only, I only fulfill my sprays. So in order to move into a marketplace like Amazon, to automate my fulfillment, I would have to increase my inventory reasonably, and that's something I've been researching, like going to a cosmetic manufacturer and having them scale the base of my sprays so that I can make thousands and thousands of units at end. So that's something I'm hoping to do in the future to prepare me for scaling.
Brianna, great presentation.
Thank
and
you.
Michelle Moore, just have a quick question for you. I'm a big fan of makeup. Setting sprays are everywhere right now on the internet. What is unique about your products?
Well, a lot of things. But what's important is that it's vegan, cruelty-free, and I take pride in using skincare products in my setting spray, not necessarily just fillers and alcohols. I'm alcohol, silicone, and paraben-free, and I really, that was one of the main points of me making the setting spray. I wanted to make a setting spray that was good to look at and also good to use for your skin. That also in tandem with the name, the trendy name that attracts a lot of people, and the highlighting properties of the setting spray. So it's just a lot of things that contribute to how well the spray has been selling online. So no problem.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
This is Rob McGovern. You know, in the early stage of a startup, focus is so important. I always think you have to do a few things really well. Why by gender? Why not just stick to one gender like females?
Well, I actually didn't target anybody specifically. I just made my products available for anybody. So once I saw that both genders were buying my spray, I was like, well, everybody can wear it. I actually have a cosmetic influencer that I use that is a male, and I send him all of my products all the time because he has a specific audience that he sends that, you know, watch him and support him. So with him having his spread of influence, I also gained his spread of influence, so that's something that I really appreciate and take pride in.
Is there a mix of, that you could report on what percent are men and women today?
Yes, 64% women, 18% male. That might be off in math, but last time I checked Instagram, that was what I saw.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Brianna,
Yes.
how many employees do you need to have in your company to scale?
Off the top of my head, I actually have 2 employees right now. One is helping me with my social media posting, and one helps me with my customer service. In order to scale physically with packing orders, I would need at least 3 employees to help me with fulfilling orders and packing and shipping and making sure everything gets out on time.
And you have access to people?
Not yet. Yep. Well, hopefully today. Yep. I have 1 more minute.
Brianna, is
Yes.
there, I understand the distinction on the brand, and I think that is one of the unique things about your product. What is it about your product that would make it difficult for others to copy you and take over the space?
Well, I actually already trademarked the term F4 repellent, and one thing I did not mention, BQ Box is, I have a vision for it to be an umbrella brand. So I actually have names of products that I'm ready to release that are in the now with millennial trends, and I'm waiting just to release them, just so I have the, you know, to expand my product offerings. So that's trademarking my terms, and what's in the now with trends is definitely something that I plan on doing in the future. Yep. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, it should be good. Good evening, everyone. My name is George, and I'm the founder and CEO of the cybersecurity company Sonar. Like many other college students, I really enjoyed finding ways to get food at a low or a highly discounted cost. Like, what college student doesn't like highly discounted or free food, right? So me and a few friends, we would sign up for Chipotle buy one, get one coupons again and again and again. And we keep on abusing these other promos that we'd find online. Well, for small to medium-sized businesses, this really affects them. Take me, for example. A few years ago, I was running an online incentivized rewards platform called Rewards Live. We had about 5,000 users, and we had a lot of fraud from these 5,000 users on a global scale. They would take over other people's accounts, they would use fake information, or they would just be abusing promos. And so this is when I realized that a lot of websites and apps are often threatened by these identity and user trust problems, where companies don't know if they can trust their users or their customers. Specifically, synthetic identity fraud, which is when somebody uses someone else's information that's not theirs to sign up for a website or for a mobile app. Promo abuse, which is basically when somebody uses the same promotion code again and again and again, like what I was doing with Chipotle. And finally, account takeover. That's basically when somebody steals your login credentials, for example, your username and password, or your email and password, and they basically intend to commit fraud on your behalf. So I created Dark Sonar to solve this problem, and we analyzed user behavior to basically prevent these digital identity problems, so you can trust a user as a company. We do this through a process called device fingerprinting, where we collect non-personally identifiable information, and we also do geolocation tracking. These two things combined with our machine learning algorithms allow us to help businesses make better decisions and automate the fraud prevention process. Here's how it works. So we have a fraudster here who we know is from the Philippines, but this person is using an American person's identity to sign up for this website. Dark Sonar has detected that this person is not from Boca Raton, Florida, and we can prevent this activity from occurring instantly. Our customers are primarily small to medium-sized businesses with online portals or mobile apps who lack cybersecurity expertise or resources. And in general, in 3 months average, they see a 6.5 to 7 times return on investment on our entry-level plan. We target IT and security managers, software engineers, and also developers. Our use cases are varied. Cybersecurity is a $20 billion market up to 2020, but we've really relied on our previous connections in the advertising and marketing space. And we've also branched out into online communities, e-commerce and marketplaces, mobile apps, and also blockchain and cryptocurrency platforms more recently. We have some competitors in this space, but Dark Sonar is the most cost-effective, and we're also far easier to integrate. It takes on average 30 to 45 minutes to integrate, and within the next 24 hours, you'll see data in your dashboard, which is shown here, where we show you the key information. So any small to medium-sized business owner can understand cybersecurity in a very simple and actionable way. This is our business model. We are a software as a service, recurring revenue subscription model. So we have 3 plans, the developer, business, and enterprise plans, priced at $99, $199, and $399 respectively. Each plan upgrades and downgrades over time based on usage. Our developer and business profit margins are at 83% roughly, and our enterprise profit margins are 75%. In terms of traction, over the past 5 months, we've generated about $25,000 in revenue. We've got 9 paid clients and 107 free client signups. And on a daily basis, we protect 5 to 7 million end users across over 80 countries. Here are some examples of our clients on both a national and a local scale. On a local scale, Activity Rocket, based here in Bethesda, Maryland, and also Thrively, which is a digital learning company based in Los Angeles, California. Our financials are as follows. For this year, we're on track to hitting our projection of about $63,000 in total revenue. Over the next 2 years, we believe, based on our growth, that we will achieve $300,000 and $1.5 million. In each of these years, we should run a profit. In the future, we continue expanding our customer base. We want to convert a lot of our free users right now to a paid plan. And in the next 2 years, we also want to grow our mobile fraud prevention presence. We want to grow our reputation and also work with larger technology companies, specifically technology integrators, to be able to compete in enterprise. In terms of funding, if we were to win Pitch Dingman, we would allocate our $15,000 as follows. Primarily, we would allocate $8,000 towards product development and software engineering, $4,000 to sales and marketing, $2,000 to technology infrastructure, so our servers, and then the last $1,000 to legal and compliance. This is our team. I'm the founder and CEO. Simon's the CTO of the company. And we've got 2 great advisors, Paul, who is here in the audience today. finally, I hope that you join me in my journey in bringing Dark Sonar to secure and protect the world. Thank you very much.
You mentioned the kind of the consumers that you're protecting, the millions of consumers out there. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Is that just the fraud that you've prevented from occurring, or do you have a consumer-focused feature set?
So we have, so our clients basically have end users.
Yeah.
And so for each of those end users, when they hit basically when they hit our pixel, our JavaScript pixel that we have embedded, that is how we're basically counting the amount of people that we're protecting roughly on a daily basis.
George, I had a quick question.
Yes.
Pretty significant jump in year 1 to year 2 in revenue projections. So I was interested in hearing about, just briefly, your marketing plan that you're in your attraction of those small and medium-sized businesses. What's that plan look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, we're using our prior connections, but we've also done very well with not only word of mouth, but we've leveraged Google AdWords, and in addition to that, inbound marketing strategies. So we're trying to basically have small businesses tell other small businesses, hey, this is something that you can integrate into your platform. You know, it's very versatile. Takes on average 30 to 45 minutes, and you'll see results roughly the next day, you know, as long as you have, you know, traffic and user flow going. And then, you know, your security posture is basically delivered to you immediately. So, yeah.
Are you familiar with demand-side platforms?
Yes, for
So-
online advertising, yes.
Yeah, so if you could explain to the audience what a DSP is and why you're not afraid they're your ultimate competition.
So for demand, I'm sorry, can you sort of clarify your question?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in how do you defend against them coming into your space? Because if a DSP can look at an IP address and know where the party is.
Oh, right. So actually, we're far more complicated than that because we don't look at just, for example, IP information. We go a step further and we actually fingerprint the user's device. So we know exactly what device the user's using. It's not personally identifiable, but we're looking at many other factors as well. For example, your browser, the browser that you're using, the language on your computer, your time zone. We look at the fonts you have installed and the plugins installed in your browser, the screen size. So there's a lot more that we look at to basically tackle this one, basically being able to detect the user as to be unique in and of itself.
Okay, thank you.
George,
Yes.
a related question would be, how difficult would it be for your competitors to see what you're doing and then implement something similar and they're already established?
Right, so a lot of those other competitors in that space, they really sell their product to enterprise. Like that's just where they're at simply because they can charge somewhere on the lines of $10,000, $15,000 a month for their product. We really focus on smaller to medium-sized businesses in terms of our current target market. So they could do that, but it's one of these things where they've done very well and they have large-scale investors. They've raised a lot of money, so the investors are really pushing them to generate cash flow for the investors themselves.
Have you thought at all about what kind of incentives you might use to generate business referrals?
So, yes, one of the thoughts was, we could have a referral, program, an affiliate program. So definitely, especially, my prior experience in the affiliate marketing space, I definitely want to see if we can do something on the lines of cost per an action-based advertising, where we can, basically pay out based on the sales that are actually generated on an online advertising standpoint.
George, can you pull up the use of funds screen real quick?
Yes.
Sales and marketing.
Good job.
Thank you. my name is Sydney Parker, and I am the founder of AProdigy, LLC. I want everybody to look to their left and look to their right, because everybody in this room has something that they care about and the ability to express it. Now, what if I told you that there's an existing industry where you can earn money simply by expressing your passions? AProdigy is an influencer marketing platform that seeks to bring advertising dollars to multicultural voices. We first focus on multicultural female bloggers, vloggers, and podcasters, creating them into revenue-generating brands, while also marrying advertisers to multicultural audiences through the fast and effective medium of influencer marketing. Influencer marketing is the way of the future. Want some proof? Influencer Marketing Hub has said that the influencer market is a $2 billion industry today. And 90% of the success does not come from celebrity endorsements, but instead comes from macro influencers who have a solid social media following. These influencers command a reach and a network where they are able to sway public opinion in the favor of goods and products. If you're already on social media, you're probably already following 1 to 2 influencers. During my time at Facebook, interning there for the last 2 years, I have seen advertisements shift from television to video to the influencer market. AProdigy seeks to build multicultural bloggers, vloggers, and podcasters into these trailblazing macro influencers that will take over the future of influencer marketing. And we seek to do this through the Brand Boss Academy. Before, there has not been any true education for the on-the-go, career-focused professional woman who is looking to take her creative outlet and make it into a lucrative lifestyle. With the Brand Boss Academy, these aspiring influencers will be able to learn how to create their own creative, run their own digital campaigns, and increase their engagement and following. Not only this, they'll be able to earn money by joining our influencer network that makes it easier for advertisers to run campaigns to multicultural audiences. Our competitors with similar services to us differ in key ways. AProdigy is the only influencer marketing platform that focuses on influencer education and management for multicultural women. This is a key distinction because we are consistently building a pipeline of quality influencers to marry off to advertising campaigns looking to access their niche communities. Before the Brand Boss Academy, we have piloted this program by giving out personalized services, and one of our key success stories is Modestly Many. Modestly Many, we were able to coach her on making her own creative, negotiating influencer contracts with potential business partners, as well as running her own digital campaigns. And you can see the results right here. With this proven methodology, we are able to now apply this to a scalable format, which is the Brand Boss Academy. Students will learn from established macro influencers, such as the one you see up here, and will learn through webinars and video tutorials, whereas students on the premium plan will be able to have one-on-one coaching sessions with these macro influencers acting as coaches. Armed with Brand Boss knowledge, they will then be able to earn money by entering our network, and AProdigy will handle the contract negotiation and money collection to collect a 20% cut of the advertising dollars. As we grow, we are first focusing on young Black female influencers who are hitting the market on beauty and lifestyle. As we grow, we seek to expand on niches and demographics. And to market this, we're not only going to utilize online advertisements, but also form partnerships with online communities for bloggers, vloggers, and podcasters, and already have 2 partnerships with Instagram blogger communities in the works today. I'd like to also mention that we are starting our inaugural complimentary program June 15, 2018, and within 1 week, we have collected 60 students who are enrolled for this program to start. We will also be taking some of our own medicine and having our macro influencers market on behalf of AProdigy. And with this growth in niche and demographics, we expect our revenue to grow exponentially. In year one, we're just gonna focus on the learning aspect of our business and build that strong pipeline of influencers to tap back into from year 2 on. With this funding, $15,000, we would be able to fund 5 months worth of the first year of education, building that strong pipeline of influencers for future use. And I'd like to leave you with this. Look to your left and look to your right again. Will you let AProdigy empower your passion to become the brand boss of your future? Thank you.
So that nice presentation, thank you. My question deals, authenticity in influencer strategies is fundamental. And how do you think about the point of view the individual may have as they're going out and positioning these different products that they're being paid for in terms of that authenticity? And what if they don't, positive, negative?
Well, we would be collecting those advertising dollars up front instead of just the advertising dollars or the product dollars that they generate. So that would, it wouldn't be so dependent on their, the success of their campaign. But I do believe that they're gonna have, like our influencers will have successful campaigns because they're gonna be learning from established macro influencers who have encountered these problems before of authenticity and staying true to oneself. And the thing is, even though they fall into these niche categories, everybody always has a spin on how they're going to approach the beauty niche or how they're going to, especially lifestyle. Lifestyle can cover travel or family or anything of that nature, so.
What if they don't like the product? How do you deal with their personal
Yes.
point of view versus your goal?
So we're definitely not going to force anybody to go into a contract. These are just, this network is supposed to just provide opportunities to get money. In the instance that they don't like a product, then we just would have run that campaign because it can't. That's the one thing about influencer marketing. You cannot have a beauty brand and then be talking about tea, So it definitely, we're gonna try to make sure that it's paired well and that they believe in what they're selling.
Go ahead.
No, you can go. Thank you. Hi, Cindy. I just had a
Hi.
question for you. You mentioned that 40% of your, if you were to receive these funds, the $15,000, that would be designated to marketing.
Yes.
So I'm just curious what social media sites you plan on targeting
Yes.
and how do you find your clients?
So I definitely, even though 40% will be dedicated to marketing, I don't want to first lead with paid advertisements. I really want to leverage the partnerships that are already forming between me, AProdigy and these online communities, because I believe that our own clients are going to respect authenticity. And if they are already part of these Instagram communities, such as Black Girl Ventures or Black Girls Who Blog, then they've already been integrated in this, and if they endorse our services, then they will buy into it as well as using our macro influencer coaches. I'd rather just use organic partnerships such as those two for them to be able to trust us and trust their dollars with us.
Sydney, I just wanted to ask you about you had a slide that showed subsequent years and the niches that you were going to be addressing. Was there any, can you talk a little bit about how you prioritize those niches?
It's not that they're going to be prioritized. I do believe that beauty and lifestyle are the biggest niches that are being are attractive today, so that's why we're going to start with them, since there's just so much data and so many influencers in that niche already. But in terms of the support for women of color, it's not going to be a priority in terms of that. And in terms of demographics, I want to have seats in our classes for each of these demographics as we move forward. Sorry, not demographics, niches as we move forward.
Okay.
So from a scale perspective, what do you think is going to be your biggest challenge? Is it going to be able to find the consultants and the instructors that can help in the
Yes.
marketplace, or?
I think that the biggest thing will be recruiting coaches, but every time that I mention this to one of the coaches that we recruit, they're all for it. And I've already seen that there are certain types of macro influencers who, in themselves, they've been helped by previous macro influencers and they want to give back as well. So not only are they going to earn money from us, because we're factoring that into our expenses, they're earning money through us to coach these women, but they're also going to leverage, like, build their following through us as coaches, so yeah. Thank you.
I'm ready to be on Shark Tank now. I love that show.
Hello, Sharks. Oh, sorry. Kind of ruined the joke. Hello, Sharks. My name is Didak Hormiga, and I'm the CEO and founder of Flea. So let me take you back to the summer before my freshman year. I was super excited to go to college because I'd seen all these movies and pictures of all these different parties and events at college. But when I got there, it was a little bit different than I expected. I'd often see pictures of my friends on Snapchat and Instagram at different events, but by the time I saw those pictures, it was too late to actually go. So I decided to see whether other people were having the same problem. And so I interviewed 300 different students on campus, and I found that over 92% of them didn't know what events were going on campus. So I decided to create a solution. So I reached out to my good friend, Ian Sawyer. We'd both worked at a company called Talk Local before, where I came up with the business partnership ideas and made mock-ups, and he actually took those mock-ups and developed them into functioning integrations. And together at Talk Local, we'd created partnerships with companies like Facebook and Microsoft for them. So I knew we had a great team, and we set out to create Flea. So what is Flea? Flea stands for Find Local Events and Entertainment, and we're an app that helps people do just that. So why are we working on an entertainment app right now? The events industry and the social media industry are flying up faster than ever, and they have more revenue every year. And as well, millennials are preferring to spend money on experiences rather than material goods, and that number is also rapidly increasing. So 3 months ago, we launched our beta test on the App Store. We had all these cool different features. We were the first app in the country to have event-based stories. And then we had a bunch of other cool features like local event maps and local discounts. And we got a ton of awesome feedback from our beta test. So we had 500 users on campus download the app. And we capped it off at 500 because we wanted to test. And they used 50 discounts in only a month and went to a ton of events. And so we heard that people really liked the app. But we also got great feedback, such as the user interface was a little bit overwhelming, and then event holders wanted to actually be able to sell their own tickets through the app. So we took all those great suggestions and feedback, and we're working on a new update, which we're going to launch within the next month. And so we added a bunch of cool features based off of all these awesome suggestions that we got. So one of them was a Venmo integration. So what that means is college students pay every day through an app called Venmo, and with one click, they can now buy tickets through our app. Which also helps the event holders. We also found that college students, 50% of college students had attended an event in the past 2 weeks because of free food. So if you guys are here for the free food, that's you. So we made a free food filter so college students could find food around them. We also made major user interface improvements. So what that means is we added more swiping, kind of like Tinder, and less of a boring long feed. And then we added live event reporting, which means that you can see the guy-girl ratio before going to a party, or how long you got to wait in line, and all these different things. And then users get incentivized to report that data because they get bigger discounts at the local restaurant partnerships we have. So originally, we were kind of similar to the competition, to be honest, during our beta test. But now that we're adding all these different features, we're really targeting a new college demographic market that a lot of these other apps are not looking at. So we're the only apps that have a lot of these features, as you can see behind me. And so we're really excited to kind of explore our niche. So how are we going to get this to the masses? Currently, we have 12 campus ambassadors at different universities on the East Coast. And then I also used to be a YouTuber. I had millions of views making FIFA rap videos, but a lot of my friends have continued to do YouTube, and they have a network of over 6.23 million subscribers, and they've offered to make free promotional videos, so that'll definitely help out. And then we also have collected an email list and a bunch of other marketing techniques, which we're really excited to deploy. So you might be thinking, how does Flea make money? We make money in 4 different ways right now. So we have sponsored events, which are kind of like an ad to get more impressions for your event if you want to sponsor it. We have local discounts, so we have coupons at local businesses. We have several in College Park, where if a user goes and uses that coupon, the restaurant pays us $1 per every transaction. A few months ago, we partnered with Ticketmaster, and they gave us over 100,000 events, and we get commission on every time someone buys a Ticketmaster ticket, and then a similar partnership with Lyft, so you can click to get a ride to any event, and we make some commission as well. So how much money are we going to make? So I would love to know that exactly, but our projections are $308,000 for the next 6 months. And so how we figured that out was that we estimate 150 users to download the app every day. And based off of our data and usage from the beta test, we can predict that every user will generate $19.88 in revenue for us. So that's how it's going to be for the next 6 months. So clearly, we've worked really, really hard on this over the past year, and we're extremely excited to continue to work hard on this. But since this is a network effects-based app, having other people, having your friends on the app and more users makes the app better for everybody. So we're going to put, out of the $15,000, a lot of it we want to put into marketing because marketing is so important into getting that big boom and all your friends on the app at once. So those different marketing strategies I talked about before are going to be really key. And then also, we have to have the app on the App Store 24 hours a day and also pay for a few other systems such as analytics. So some of that will go to development expenses as well. So it's been a really exciting past year for Flea, and we're really excited to help facilitate the event finding and attending experience for everyone. Thank you so much, and I'd like to open up the floor to any questions.
Are there ways for it to spread socially?
Yeah.
As participants inviting their friends and things like that?
Yeah, so awesome. That's a great question. So one of our new things that we were implementing in the new update was actually user incentivization. So what we're doing is when you refer a friend, you'll get like double the discount at the local restaurant. So we've worked out those agreements with the restaurants. We think like that affiliate type or like referral is really going to help us grow because everyone wants double the discount on their food, and by inviting one friend, you can get that, and so it also helps us grow. Yeah.
How do you find out where all these events are?
Yeah, so we pull in events from a bunch of different places. So our partnership with Ticketmaster, for example, we get 100,000 events. We have other partnerships in place with like companies like Eventbrite and Meetup that we can pull data from. And then also we have users creating their own events. So you can create private events, public events, sponsored events on our app. So not only are we aggregating events from around the country, but we're also creating our own.
And you find out where the free beer is?
Yeah, so the cool thing is we're adding a bunch of different filters. One of our filters is like 21 plus. We have a variety of different filters and combinations that you can use to find where free beer is.
So I love your test and learn approach and what you've done to really collect that consumer feedback. I think that's key. And the fact that you're acting on some of that, particularly things like where's the line along, all of that. Now, what about reviews and opinions? Are you building that into the system? I didn't hear that mentioned.
Yeah, so we've definitely thought about that, and it's not something we really have right now. We do have like the event widgets, so like the guy-girl ratio and the how long you waited in line that we've decided that like users can add to the events. There is a pro and con to adding reviews because as an event holder, you don't want to like de-incentivize people from going to the event if the first people that have gone there haven't enjoyed it. So it's a fine line. We're definitely going to test it and do more research on it, and then we'll see whether we implement it. Thank you.
My question is, on your very first slide, you had 90% of the students don't know what's going on in the campus. So what is that statistic based on? How was that derived?
Yeah, so the question we asked them was, can you name an event that I was going on?
Who?
Oh, sorry. So I interviewed 300 students on campus through the Hinman CEOs program. Some of them were my friends. Some of them were random people I stopped on the street. It's kind of weird. But the question I asked them was like that exact question. Do you know what events are going on around you right now or tonight? And a lot of them were like, no, I have no idea. And we asked a variety of other questions, like, would you like to know what events are going on? Like, how would you like to find out? How are you currently finding out about events?
So specifically, though, these were 300 students?
Yeah,
on
in
campus?
College Park, yeah.
Okay.
Is there just a quick question on how you stack up with the competition? I saw the slide there. Is what you're doing, is the way in which you do it proprietary, and how challenging would it be for your competitors to take over what you're doing?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So the name is proprietary right now. We have the trademark for Flea, but it's kind of hard to like trademark or patent technology in that way. We do have first mover advantage, for example, and we are really focusing on the college niche, which none of these apps have really done. So we do have that advantage. We're listening directly to suggestions and what people want from college and really implementing that. We are the only like events-based app that has social media on like in the space right now. So the fact that we're combining events and social media really puts us in a unique space to have these different features and to grow, versus our competitors aren't really focusing on that demographic. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you very much. Oh, keep sliding.
Hello, hello. Ooh. Is your mic working? Yeah. You guys working?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So please just take a moment to appreciate this photo of my beautiful grandmother here. So I love this woman. She's my best friend, and we've always got along really well. She's given me the greatest advice. Unfortunately, just over a year ago, she had a fall. She broke her hip, and during her recovery, I would follow up with her geriatricians and her nurses to kind of learn about the problem of elderly falls overall. About 3 million elderly falls are treated in the emergency room each year in the United States. And that's not even counting, those are only counting falls that are recorded. Now, so what actually helps in this situation? You have the Life Alert. I think we've all heard about it before, right? It's famous for its slogan, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up." This product was built all the way back in 1987. And the thing is, my grandmother has one, yet it didn't even help in this situation. So 30 years later, look, we're stuck with the same thing. The same thing, the pendant necklaces. This is the latest and greatest from Philips Lifeline. And with just a 1% market penetration rate, it generates $2 billion in revenue. The thing is that pendants overall are 96% ineffective, studies show, because falls don't happen at convenient times. In fact, over 40% of elderly falls are due to syncope, which is a sudden loss of consciousness. So you're not even going to press the button if you're on the floor conked out, right? So the thing is, the first thing we tried are wearables, right? Fall-based automated, wrist-worn automated fall detection devices. And we worked really hard on this. We tested at 2 nursing homes with over 40 patients, but we realized there's 2 big problems. One is that it's a logistical nightmare for nurses to manage all of these wearables, and also, no matter what it is, seniors are not going to put it on. They just do not like wearables.
Introducing our new system. So our new fall detection device does not require any sensors on your body, wearables, or pendants. So this is a pretty big claim. How does it actually work? Well, you'd place one of our devices in a room. It would send out a wireless signal that would bounce off walls, humans, and objects. We're licensing technology from the University of Maryland that allows us to create a 3-dimensional map of the room and track movements using these reflections. So this kind of works like how a bat would navigate a dark cave using echolocation. But instead of sound, we're using electromagnetic waves. 2 to 3 of these devices would cover an entire floor in a room. So falls have a unique motion pattern that's easily identifiable. Within the first minute, our system has a 95% effective detection rate. That number goes up to 100% after 15 minutes. After we detect a fall, we send a customized notification to these caregivers. Then they can follow up directly at the location, or they can go and call an ambulance. Our data is one of our most important assets in this case. We provide location and healthcare information to these caregivers that helps them respond quickly and more effectively, saving lives.
So falls are just the beginning. We are also tackling the huge problem of caregiver worry. Throughout my years working in the emergency room at Washington Adventist Hospital, I've learned a lot about the intricacies that surround an elderly fall. Caregivers, whether that's a family member or a registered nurse, spend on average 21 hours per week providing care or doing check-ins, and falls rank as the #1 source of worry ahead of mismedication or wandering. So with the Symbiont product data, you will know how your grandparent is doing today. We provide data on steps taken or hours spent in bed, and with the location tracking capability, we offer a holistic solution that will tackle multiple pain points. Our product is truly non-invasive and accurate, and making it the most simple and efficient one on the market. We plan on charging $300 per hardware router and an additional $30 per patient per month. This is a huge market due to the ever-increasing abundance of elderly falls. Of all the senior citizens living in the United States, about 5% of them live in senior homes. And with just a 5% penetration rate, that is a $25 billion market. And when expanded globally, the potential is endless. So in the next year, we will deploy our product into 3 different nursing homes, generating a $220,000 revenue. And after a successful pilot program, we will expand this to 20 communities by year 2 and 100 communities by year 3 with a $7.5 million revenue. We can explain this expansion because all of the nursing homes that we're targeting for our pilot program work in conjunction with hundreds of facilities that span across the entire country. So the winnings, we will allocate most of the funding to test and source the hardware so that we can implement them into the nursing homes, and we'll also use a lot of it for legal fees so that we can protect our product and our company overall.
So why us? Well, we have the hardware, medical, and software background to pull us off, and also a lot of passion. We've established strategic partnerships with insurance companies and HCR Manor Care, which is a retirement community with over 500 locations nationwide. And we've also been accepted to the MedStar Innovation Institute. Now, every 4 seconds, an elderly person falls in the United States. Please join us in our journey to accelerate rescue and save their lives. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question about your pricing model? It was an interesting pricing model. It looked like an institutional model where you buy the units, but kind of like razor blade, you run the revenues off of the individual. What about individual adoption, or are you going only after larger institution if you thought it, when you really slice that market?
Right. So for the first 4 years, we're actually paying attention mostly to retirement homes for a good purpose that it's a very large market, and we've also worked with them ever since we first started the company.
And we also know that these nursing homes have established registered nurses working around the clock. So we think that with them, we will be able to find out like how manageable it is for a regular family member who doesn't have medical training.
What's the outlook for IP protection with patents?
Right. So we did that through the Office of Technology Commercialization at the University of Maryland. It's just in case you're wondering, it's 3% of 3 to 5% of net sales is that what we're giving out for licensing, and it's like a fully protected patent that a professor on this campus developed. No more questions. We always have tons of questions.
I have a question. It's interesting, this product. I know you mentioned a few others that are similar to yours. Many of those also have that voice response. Can you hear me? I don't have it up.
Oh, yeah.
Have that voice response unit as well. Is that something that your product has? Or is it just specifically if they fall, you can sense that?
Yeah, so that's something that we've looked into. And the thing is, those voice response systems often don't work because, as Maria said, over 4 in 10 falls are due to syncope, them being unconscious. So they're not actually able to physically call for help a lot of the times.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so like the safest way is to basically alert the caregiver that they've fallen.
Yeah, and the benefits of working in a nursing home is because, like I said, 24 hours a day, they have someone there. So rather than a voice that's answering you, you'll have like a person, running down the hallway into your room.
Did you raise your financial model from the last time or recently for 2018 and 2019?
Oh, right. Well, the financial model, or the projections are here right now, but we also included it in the.
But I mean, those are a lot higher than the ones I saw.
Oh, yes, we raised it because we actually readjusted our pricing model. We've always been told even from the legal center at Dingman Center, I was going to go in and propose that we give 15% of our revenue for the patent, but I mean, we've always undercut ourselves, so we're making sure to make it a good price.
Is that patent that's used for that motion detection, is that used in any other products in any other way?
Oh, no, it hasn't been commercialized in any
Hasn't
other
been
way.
commercialized in any
Yeah,
other
and it's a non-exclusive. I mean, it is an exclusive licensing agreement, too.
Does your data testing talk about false positives?
Right.
Yeah, so with false positives, as I said earlier, like the detection rate gets better as time goes on. So like at first it's 95% within the first minute, but at the 15-minute mark that goes to 100% because they're on that ground for that amount of time. But we'll detect most of the falls within like the first 2 or 3 minutes. So they'll get care.
Why
as soon
does
as
it get
possible.
better in that 15 minutes?
Because they're on the ground and they're not moving as much.
And we always like to say a false positive is better than a false negative.
How clear is the communities identified? Have you done any detailed identification of those communities?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
The communities, have you identified the communities?
Oh, yes,
Like the 3
yes.
communities and the 20 communities?
Yes, yes. Actually, one's a memory care community in Kensington and then 2 in Bethesda.
How about in the next step?
Oh, and the next step, we're just planning to, we're going to build a proof of concept at that facility and then build in their multiple locations throughout the Delmarva, pretty much. I can't believe we have any questions. You guys have so many questions.
Yeah.
Oh, my thing's still on.
Whew, that's not easy. Okay, well, thank you all for waiting. I'm excited to announce all our results. So first we have our prize for the audience choice in our Founders Showcase. Get my certificate here. And the winner is NutriChoose. Where's Evan? Come on up, NutriChoose.
Ilana, what are they doing?
They're coming up for a prize.
What's the company doing?
I'm gonna let them give it. So congrats, Evan. Can you give us, for anyone who didn't stop by your table, can you give a 10-second pitch on what NutriChoose is?
Yeah, for sure. So NutriChoose is basically the legal Adderall of the future in drink form. So we're using 5 different powerful cognitive enhancing supplements to help students be more focused, motivated, and energetic.
Great. Congrats. Thank you. Come on in for a picture.
Shoot.
Here, hold that.
My bad.
Okay, nice job. Okay, next up, for $1,000, the Audience Choice Prize goes to Flea. Congratulations. I'm going to have you come over here with all the flanked by the judges here. Okay. Whew. I don't know. I can't imagine how nervous you guys are. The third place prize goes to Dark Sonar. Okay, and the second prize for $7,500 goes to BQ Box. So great. Okay, and I would, on behalf of David and Robin Quattrone, I would like to present the 2018 Pitch Dingman Competition Grand Prize, $15,000 to Symbiont Health.